All right, perfect. Let's get started. So far, today and yesterday, we've had some pretty great audiences, so I hope that we can keep that up. So give yourselves a little round of applause for being so supportive and awesome. Quick thank you before I let our wonderful student speakers begin today is just a quick shout out to the boosters in the Booster Club. So if you know anyone who is a part of that and have helped donate time or anything to putting on Riders Week, please make sure you give a nice big thank you to them. So thanks to them. Our first student speaker today is Erica Kim.
Okay, so this is, my first piece is called An American on Being Asian American. Whether you like it or not, your race and ethnicity have a big impact on who you are as a person. Probably because it's the first thing people generally note, and the truth is, people's perceptions of you, and consequently their treatment towards you, will change depending on how you look. I'm always a little on edge when I'm asked, "Where are you from?" I usually say Chicago. And that's never a satisfactory answer. People tend to add in a really with a wink and a nudge that I sometimes mistake for flirting. "Where are you from?" "Chicago." "No, but where are you really from?" Oh my gosh, stop hitting on me. Another thing that makes me uncomfortable is when people say, "Erica, you look exactly like so-and-so." Because when they're talking about a celebrity, I know my options are Jackie Chan, Lucy Liu, and that Asian doctor from Grey's Anatomy. I remember playing a game in elementary school where you picked which actor would play you in a movie, and my friends would choose girls like Hilary Duff and Miley Cyrus, and then when it was my turn, everyone was stumped, including me. But that's my point. Hollywood is a predominantly white industry with a glass ceiling for every conceivable minority group. More specifically, there are limited roles for Asians to play. And even roles that you think are so clearly Asian, like a movie based in Hawaii and called Aloha, are given to the whitest people in Hollywood. Look, Emma Stone is always going to be my hashtag Woman Crush Wednesday because she's a very talented actress, but she's not talented enough to convince me that she's an entirely different race. Like, no one is, except maybe Rachel Dolezal. Instead, the role I see most Asians fill is that of the comedic relief, like Ken Jeong from The Hangover and that weird Asian girl from Pitch Perfect. I think stereotypes are meant to be used in comedy, but I draw the line if you're just laughing at our Asianness. With media playing a bigger role in our lives now than ever, so much of our worldview is shaped by whatever pop culture shows us. And when there's such a narrow representation of Asians in Hollywood with no juxtaposition, we run the risk of having these stereotypes define us. Hollywood doesn't reflect the diversity in America, and the recent Oscar controversy has given this difficult conversation a very public outlet. So maybe now the Academy will see Asians, blacks, and other minority groups as smart, funny, and interesting people. And maybe then we will start to chip away at some of these antiquated stereotypes. And then, so these are some things I wish people would have told me before senior year, but nobody did because censorship. 1, senior year is like your birthday. You anticipate its arrival, get excited about the freedom that comes with being older and more mature. You reflect on how far you've come. And then the day finally arrives, and you don't really feel that different. Except there's this very small voice in the back of your head that's gently reminding you you're one day closer to death. Slowly, you start to panic. There are college apps to write, you're in charge of 50 billion clubs, you're taking all AP classes, so obviously there's a lot of homework, and somehow you're supposed to find time for sleep and this thing called fun, which I hear happens when you're with friends, but who has time for that? Senior year is not necessarily any easier than junior year. Sorry. 2, senioritis isn't that great because it's kind of a myth. Second semester senior used to be the light at the end of the tunnel. But in order to not take finals, which, let's be honest, is the holy grail of being a senior, you can't be absent more than 5 times, you can't have any truancies, you can't have any late assignments, and a bunch of other restrictions. So it's like hearing the side effects during a drug commercial. Restasis sounds so amazing, but then again, you might experience burning, itching, pain, and blurred vision. 3, be prepared for all the college questions. You'll be bombarded with, where are you applying? What do you want to major in? Are you looking at small schools or big schools? And that's before you've even submitted anything. Even when you clearly don't know yet, people will constantly be asking, so where are you going to college? Senior year is like political boot camp, so feel free to take creative liberty with all of your responses. And then some things that I've learned so far are 1, ask for help. Everything about the college application process can be a bit daunting. And honestly, I recommend just tattooing SOS on your forehead because that's way more efficient. 2, don't procrastinate. And I'm the biggest hypocrite because I haven't actually learned this lesson yet, but like people tell it to me all the time and it sounds good, so I'm saying it. Do as I say, not as I do, right? 3, sleep is for the weak and you definitely don't need it. Just kidding, no one ever said that. Sleep is actually one of the best things for your mental and physical well-being, and it's so important that you won't get any of it. 4, get a Starbucks gift card, because that'll help with aforementioned sleep deprivation. Or alternatively, become a stress-powered robot and you'll never run out of energy again. 5, you might not be friends with the same people that you knew as a freshman, but that's okay, because people change, including you, and that's a good thing. So I'll end with some of the best advice that I've ever received, which is don't forget your lunch, take lots of pictures, and have a good time. Up next is Carrie Bjornholm.
All right, first off, I'd like to apologize for my voice. I got sick over the weekend, so kind of recovering. And then I wrote 3 poems, and the first one is called Life. Life. It's like driving on a highway while it's raining. And the rain's pouring down hard on your windshield, and the windshield wipers are lagging. But they push to repeat, just like your heart's beat, and you can maybe see 20 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet in front of you when you're not sure whether you're going to crash or get to safety. But once you exit the highway and slow down to come to a stoplight, you realize that what you thought was a hurricane is only a light drizzle. Life, it's an uphill battle. No, it's a war. Life is an uphill war. We are constantly fighting, and it doesn't even feel like we are going uphill. It feels like we are walking on a plateau ready to meet our enemies in one of the toughest battles we will ever fight. But who goes to war with the intentions of losing? We go to war to gain things. And I'm telling you right now that this war you are fighting, it's not going to end. But you are going to get stronger. You will win more battles than you will lose. The repercussions from the battles will diminish, and you will start thinking in ways that will make these battles easier. And eventually you will emerge from the plateau and see that the hill keeps rising. One day you will reach the top of that hill and notice that being above the clouds is a lot better than driving through the rain. The next one is Fangirl. Sorry. You know you're hooked when you spend 11 hours at an airport to meet your favorite band. When the feeling you get before a concert is as intense as the final minutes of a close game. Or when you constantly daydream about them while you're sitting in class. It's not an obsession, it's a lifestyle. It's not an addiction, it's a choice. I didn't fall for them because of their flannels, their black jeans, their tattoos, piercings, accents, dyed hair, no. I fell for them because of their humor, their smiles, the way their voices can hold a note, the messages their songs put out, and the way they care for their fans. Nothing is more thrilling than buying a ticket to their concert and counting down the days. 204, 203, 202, the red X's marking the official band calendar hanging on my wall until the circle breaks the chain on the day. The day, driving an hour away, 4 hours early, standing at a gate an hour before the venue even opens up. Making friends with people who don't have a crush on the same band member as you. Coming up with strategies on how to meet them after the concerts. But then the gates open. Thousands of screaming girls around you, the thrill is exhilarating, and you run, despite being told to walk, to get to the best seats in the house. I'm almost 18, and I'm okay with admitting that I screamed like a 5-year-old kid whose toys just got taken away. Which means, yes, I was even crying. But when you're a part of a fandom, you go all out. You spend more money on official merchandise than you did on your actual ticket. You cry because you're breathing the same air as them. And you go into post-concert depression once it ends. Unless you're like me. Then you know it's not just a phase when you try to sneak into their hotel at 3 a.m. All right, and this last one is called the English language. The English language is tricky. For instance, don't you dare means do not you dare, but for some reason I could care less. But what I really mean is I couldn't care less, because everything I had nothing to do with me being sad. And whether the weather is fair or whether the weather be bad, the weather will be weather whether I like it or not. The English language is tricky. I cannot not now at least, but at least I do know, no means no. And the future can't hold. It is a thing that doesn't exist because we can live in the now. I chopped a tree down that eventually I will chop up. I have broken my heart and poured it into a cup. The English language is tricky. Love. Love loves to be loved. If love is not loved, love will stop. At least this is what I have read when I used to read romantic books. Read and lead rhyme, and so do lead and read, but read and lead do not, and neither do read and lead. But in all the books I have read, I read of those who lead and have led victoriously. And I was content with the content. However, I am still wary about the English language. Thank you. Up next is Alyssa Kim.
Hi. So the title of my piece is called Skittles. I love big bananas, and having a cool cucumber on my tongue can be so refreshing. And a ripe eggplant in my mouth is enough to sustain my hunger for weeks. But best of all, I've tasted the rainbow. Then I go through my day with a skip in my step until a man stops me in my path and says, "Ni hao, my lotus flower. I gotta say, you look absolutely stunning. And by the way, all my ex-girlfriends are Asians. So what do you say, my porcelain doll?" So I've actually had all these compliments and pickup lines used on me. And sadly, that ignorant man was obviously diagnosed with yellow fever. Not the disease from mosquitoes, but a trope that's been in existence for far too long. According to Urban Dictionary, yellow fever is a term usually applied to white males who have a clear sexual preference for Asian women. You see, when I say Asian, men like him think exotic. They hear, "Ha ha ha, no speak English." They love qualities like submissive and docile. They imagine the perfect housewife. They crave to touch skin like Pacific sunsets. They see a porn category. They fantasize sexual geishas and schoolgirl outfits. But why should I blame the man for following the latest fad of turning Asian women to tragic fetish? I mean, media should be part of the blame too. Madame Butterfly, Japanese woman that falls in love with a white soldier, is abandoned, kills herself. The Last Samurai, Japanese woman whose husband is murdered by Tom Cruise, falls in love with Tom Cruise and then becomes his wife. Cho Chang, Lucy Liu in leather, schoolgirl porn. So excuse me while I giggle and cry over boys like them more than I speak. I mean, what could they see in me? What could they make of me other than subordinate, submissive, subplot? Wait a minute. Shouldn't I be flattered? I mean, with a flick of my hair and a quick, "Oh, senpai," I could take advantage of their yellow fever. But if I succumb to this social disease, I only become a patient, but with different symptoms. Stripped of my individuality, denied of my humanity, disregarded for my own self-worth. So, don't you see? Things like yellow fever, jungle fever, even pinto bean fever, they're absolutely demeaning, not flattering at all. So remember what I've said, that I've tasted the rainbow? Well, I haven't tasted anything. But I have been attracted to men of different races, whether that be Korean, Chinese, white, black, Hispanic. The rainbow. Now look, there's nothing wrong with having a type. Knowing what you like, what you're attracted to, that's fine. But yellow fever is completely different. It's like opening a whole bag of Skittles, eating only the yellow ones, and then tossing out the other colors without giving them a second thought. You have no awareness that that grape Skittle you threw away is an artist. The strawberry Skittle you stomped on is an academic genius. And the lemon Skittle you greedily popped into your mouth will give you food poisoning. So I suggest the next time you eat Skittles, try not to catch the rainbow, but to taste the rainbow. Thank you. Next up will be Emily.
Hello. It was 9 o'clock on a cloudy Saturday morning in September of 2012. Nora and I hopped into the back of my mom's car and rested our eyes, unable to fall back asleep. My mother and Mrs. Kujawa, Nora's mom, sat side by side in the front, looking ahead at the city of Chicago that we were approaching. My body filled with butterflies and my anxiety began to kick in at an all-time high I always knew that eventually I would see Mrs. Applegate, yet no amount of time could prepare me to look her in the eyes and even say a simple hello. The navigation system announced that we had arrived at our destination, forced Nora and I to hop out of the car and walk directly toward the white tent labeled Applegate. My feet felt like cement bricks that refused to let me walk, holding me back from the crowd of people also headed in the same direction. The beauty of Lakeshore Drive was overtaken by a sea of red t-shirts, most of which people I knew. Lake Michigan was in the midst of changing colors from the dark blue to the light gray it becomes in the winter, leaving it to be a cool blue with almost no color at all. Nora and I reached the tent and waited for our moms as they finished parking the car. About 5 minutes later, they arrived. You ready? Mrs. Kujawa's smooth voice pierced through my ears. I guess, I muttered. I spotted Sheila Applegate talking with a group of people in the corner of the tent. Sheila saw Nora and I standing timidly behind our moms, hiding from the reality of the situation. She walked over almost immediately after she had noticed us. Her and my mom hugged for about 30 seconds longer than they usually do. After the hug, my mom let tears begin to stream down her cheek. However, she quickly wiped them away and stared off into the distance, looking at absolutely everything, but nothing all at once. She turned to me. Hi, sweetie. Sheila spoke softly, but I longed her loud laugh and happy voice in that moment. Hi, Mrs. Applegate, I managed to whisper. How are you doing? She asked. My heart broke into a million different pieces as she spoke those simple words. Her world was falling apart, yet she still wanted to make sure that I was doing okay. I couldn't find the words to even begin to explain how I was feeling or what I was doing. So I flipped my lips upward on both sides, attempting to form a smile, but making it almost impossible to find anything to smile about in that moment. Her long arm, covered in freckles, reached outward and landed on my shoulder. She clamped her hand shut, attempting to squeeze me, but it only felt like a simple pinch. I closed my eyes and a single tear formed and slid down my cheek and landed on her hand. She began. It will be okay, she corrected herself. She was soon summoned to the stage that was in the large tent to the right of us. I watched as Mrs. and Mr. Applegate climbed up their stairs to get onto the platform. With their two hands intertwined, Mr. Applegate stared at Sheila as she stared blankly at the lake. I grabbed my necklace as she opened her mouth and began to talk. My dear friends and family, she began. Thank you for coming today. It truly means the world to us. She held the microphone arm's length away from her body and turned her head away from the audience. The crowd went completely silent. The sound of waves slamming on the shore and taxis honking at reckless drivers echoed throughout Lakeshore Drive. I think that deep down, it is safe to say, in some ways, we wish we weren't here. We wish we couldn't relate to the cause of this walk in any way, shape, or form. But we can. No one can rewind the times we've had with Andrew, although we all crave to relive the moments we cherish with him. From here on out, I can only ask you guys to remember my Andrew. Don't ever forget his sweet smirk and the happy memories you guys have together. Now, it is important to raise as much awareness of this tragic situation as possible. Make sure that no other family has to experience the pain I've gone through. His suicide rocked my world in a way that is simply unexplainable. Help make sure that no other family has to endure the deep devastation of losing a loved one in such a horrific way. I realized at that moment that the suicide took away a part of Mrs. Applegate that she will never get back until she's with Andrew again. When the crowd was silent after the speech, I decided that I was never going to make a joke about suicide again, because it is no joke. There is nothing that can ever be funny about a suicide, and to joke about something so serious and heartbreaking is only mocking the pain of people who have dealt with the tragedy. She climbed off the stage and grabbed Ben's hand as she began to lead the suicide prevention walk. A herd of red shirts followed behind, trying to change the world instead of letting the world change them. Thank you. Up next is Zoe Chi.
Why my ex writes poetry and not me. A slam poem about why I hate slam poetry. I will start by crumpling up this piece of paper and throwing it away, because this is a slam poem, and structured words are lies. These words should be so embedded within my soul that I don't need a physical way to show my feelings. This is why I hate slam poetry. What I've noticed about slam poetry is the wide gestures and the tortured face. Yeah, it's all about the consonants I choose to bite on and the similes I hiss. 'Cause talking loudly means this is important, and talking slowly means I get it now. And those dramatic pauses, they'll show up everywhere. Sometimes long, sometimes unnecessary. Oh, and my favorite, don't forget to stutter out your words like a broken record player immaculately with precision. God forbid, because you are actually choked up about what you are saying. This is why I hate slam poetry. It's really all about the order of the words and the emphasis placed to get the most oohs and snaps. Because the girl with the most beautiful thoughts can't string along a pace to make people listen. Because the boy with the tortured soul just can't find the right words. We get dragged in by the phrases and the beat, but the meaning, lost, gone, shrouded in something we think we understand, something we thought we understood. This is why I hate slam poetry. What happened to poetry as a form of communication? It's now all about the rhythmic syllables and the strategic placement. Please tell me what you mean. Please tell me what you mean by wound where the heart belongs and I bleed spilled ink. What? That makes no sense. This is why I hate slam poetry. Don't be worried. I fell for it once too. Because I fell in love when I was 16. Not with someone else, I fell in love with myself at 16. I fell in love with the person written in your leather-bound journal, the one with the frayed pages and the smoothed-out spine, the one you kept closer to yourself than your own heart. Surprise, surprise, this slam poem is not about poetry. It's about my ex. Slam poems are never what you think they're about. One could be titled Sunflower Sunshine, and by the end of it, you'd be raising your fist for Asian power. Or the one that starts in their childhood kitchen and ends with heartbreak. It always ends with heartbreak. And maybe that's why I didn't really get it when we broke up. You never wrote me a poem to break up. That is why I hate slam poetry. I could never seem to get across my thoughts, my words trapped somewhere in my heart. Oh, screw heart, that's cliche, trapped somewhere in my esophagus. I'm the captain of speech team for crying out loud, and I can't speak. Don't let anyone ever tell you you have nothing to say. To the people who told you, who told me you can't write, screw them. I studied slam poetry to try to connect. I can tell you that writing the line, the touch of their skin makes the world more colorful, is easy and overdone. I can tell you where to place the emphasis on your words. I can tell you when to make your voice strained. I can tell you how to gesture and make your hands shake. I can tell you what to say to make the crowd feel a connection and hang off of your every word. I cannot tell you how to feel, how to truly believe in what you are saying. I cannot even begin to tell you that you have so much to say. Being not good at writing doesn't mean you don't have beautiful ideas and extraordinary thoughts. I cannot tell you how eager I am to listen to them, to listen to you. Regardless if it's in a rhyme or eloquently said, just say what you mean. Think from here and write from here. Slam poems are never what you think they're about. Like the one that starts with, I hate slam poetry, and ends with what the heart makes.
All right, please.
Hello. So we have extra time. Unfortunately, this one isn't memorized. I can't memorize everything. I try though. This one's more lighthearted, don't worry. This is a shareable draft that I had to write last year in Mrs. Braverman's class. Shout out to Mrs. Braverman, I miss you. It's called, I know that guacamole is extra. You're dreaming. You're writing a paper for English class, you're horseback riding. Whatever the case, in all these scenarios and more, you are hungry for some responsibly raised Mexican-American food. Chipotle is what you want, and you want a lot of it. I know this happens to me quite often. I'm not sure when my love for Chipotle Mexican Grill first started. My mom and I would stop by for a quick taco or two, but before we knew it, we were eating Chipotle consistently, 2.3 times a week. Yes, I take statistics on my Chipotle. Our house's once warm, comforting feeling might be replaced by the minimalistic furniture imitating Chipotle's rustic look. I mean, it's practically my second home. Our car is filled with those grabbable 90% recycled napkins. Since most people crave Chipotle at many points in their life, here are a few tips to get the most out of your erythral experience. I might be sacrificing my own share of food, but here are the most important secrets on how to get the most out of Chipotle. The first thing you do when you're overcome with hunger, drop everything. This is crucial. You must leave immediately and locate a transportation vehicle. One might ask where you are going and why you just dropped all of your calculators. Make sure to stare them directly in the eye and respond with, "The tortillas are getting cold," and briskly walk away. They will understand your dire need, and if not, be wary of them since they might not be true friends. Once you get a vehicle, try to locate the nearest Chipotle. If you happen to find yourself in the northwest Chicagoland suburbs, your best option would be go to the site near the Arboretum on Hoffman Boulevard. If you see other people when you arrive, try to be the first to the door. It is important that you are getting your food a good minute or two ahead of them. That is precious time, could mean fresher food or better service for you. Once you beat the businessman or mother of three to the store, it's game time. First impressions are crucial. So when you open the door, make sure to assert dominance from your first step. Try to maintain eye contact with the employee. Let them know you mean business, that you are a connoisseur of Chipotle. A faulty entrance can result in a mediocre Chipotle visit, but we are aiming for an experience of a lifetime. We will be getting the most out of our amazingness from 4 employees, whom we will call employee A, B, C, and D. and by using 3 primary tactics. Then we can practically steal food from Chipotle. While you're in line, you should mentally prepare exactly what you want. Employees are quick to spot an amateur burrito builder and will try to deceive you into buying less than what you deserve. Fake confidence and pride yourself on knowing what to do in the moments to come. First, employee A will greet you with a formality or two. Do not be fooled by their friendly presence. The obstacle between you and eternal Chipotle glory is this person. You have a goal, and to achieve it, you need to stay focused. Maintain a stern demeanor and self-assured posture. Employee A, easily the most important person in this process, sets the tone for the rest of the ingredient line. By getting more food from employee A, we will usually see an increased amounts to compensate from employee B, C, and D. Employee A will ask you what basic type of vehicle your deliciousness comes in. Is the operator of the rice, beans, fajita, vegetables, and the meat or vegetable substitute. We can easily achieve success with this Mexican Jedi mind trick. I can't believe I wrote this. I haven't read this in so long. While the infamous quesarito sounds tempting, you want the most container to fill with food. Any tortilla or holder you can previously get can be given to you free of charge. Now you can fill those all with food, which you are about to attain, giving almost double the amount that you get. After you employ the essential step of the famous burrito bowl, ingredients will be thrust upon you. These will differ because of personal preference, but here is how you get the most of what you want. Remember, Chipotle is here to cater you, and you have been given the right to have abundant amounts of flavorsome pieces. Employee A will start with rice. If you have no preference, I highly suggest using the half and half method. By asking for both brown and white, employee A might give you 2/3 of both, resulting in more rice. Employee A is not a scale. They will not know. If you prefer your rices to not intermingle, refer to the foot indoor technique. With a commanding tone that also shows peaceful intentions, respectfully ask for more rice than you received. You can use this for the rest of the free ingredient line. Next, the half and half method can also be applied to beans. Timing is crucial. Ask them right before they are ready to move on, so they give you the full amount of one type already. Employee A also has the important job of giving out the meat or vegetable substitute. This defines the baseline price of your meal. The half and half method should be religiously applied here, most employees accidentally giving you more food than they planned. If you refuse to mix your additives, there is a small loophole. Extra meat or vegetable substitute sadly does cost more money, but carefully, we can trick the system. Observe your surroundings. Is there a long line? Is there a lunch rush? Are the employees distracted? If the answer is yes to any of these questions, you should employ the small voice tactic. Using this tactic, you ask for more meat or vegetable substitute and quickly move on. Employee will have a harder time, or in most cases, forget to tell employee D, the cashier, to charge you for extra. Once you slyly con employee A, the rest of the ingredient line should be a breeze. Employee B will ask you about salsas, sour cream, and corn. Remember to employ the foot indoor technique to these ingredients while also remaining gracious and polite to employee B and employee C with the lettuce and cheese. One of the final option ingredients, the king of all spreads, the food that people go to war for, the daily subject of my thoughts and dreams, guacamole. This integral element is highly recommended to any and all Chipotle fans. When you choose this, employee C, who has been conditioned to say this for the exact moment, will say, guacamole is extra. Is that okay? While veterans of Chipotle have been accustomed to this phrase, do not be alarmed. Give them a firm nod, and the fate of the amount of guacamole you receive is in the hands of employee C. There are ways to ensure more guacamole, though. Always get it straight in the bowl. The small cups usually give you less guacamole. Yes, I've calculated it. Try to pile on the lettuce, and with using the small voice tactic in the rush of things, you might deceive employee D into forgetting to ring up your guacamole. The battle is almost over when employee D starts ringing up what you have ordered. Look employee D in the eyes and make sure you are giving the lasting impression that you came in with and got exactly what you deserved. You should be walking away for a meal fit for kings at around $7. Pro tip, if you order something with fewer than 4 ingredients, not including guacamole or double meat, it should bring up to $2 cheaper actually. Now sit down in the restaurant, in your room, or on your pool table and eat your heart out. You can see that we can easily manipulate Chipotle to our liking. Next time your school has a Chipotle fundraiser, recall your training. Be polite and cunning and use your 3 tactics, but most importantly, be hungry. Hungry for this awesome bargain that is, and soon you too will be claiming, Chipotle is my life.
All right, one more round of applause for our wonderful student speakers. And that brings us to an end of 7th hour. See you later.